No. No.
Hey, Zach here with the Mats Impact Dog Training. In this video, I'm going to be going over punishment markers and how they're used in training with your dog. Now, before we go over the topic of punishment markers, there's a few things I want to cover. The first being that punishment markers are very different from other markers in our training system. One of the things that makes punishment markers different from other markers is that we cannot teach them in a traditional way. For example, with a reward marker, we can say the marker word and give the dog a reward, and repeat this process over and over and over again until that marker has been established with the dog. This is not something that we can do with a punishment marker, as this would mean that we would have to punish the dog for something that they didn't do wrong. The other point I want to mention about punishment markers is that punishment markers are not going to be used as frequently or as often as your other markers in the training system. In fact, there are many dogs out there who will be successful in training without the use of any punishment marker. Punishment is one of those things that we reserve for behaviors that are extremely dangerous to the dog or others, or behaviors that we want to eliminate fast. And so for the average dog, a punishment marker will probably not be necessary. However, it is something important to know and understand in case you have to use it. Punishment in training is not something that we take very lightly. And when we do utilize it, we want to ensure that the dog understands exactly what it is they're being punished for. And so that punishment marker allows us to pinpoint the exact moment in time that the dog makes a mistake or does something dangerous. So then we can administer that punishment. Now in this video, I'm not going to go into how to apply a punisher or aversive in your training, as that's another topic for another video. What I will tell you is there's a specific way and specific tools that we recommend in order to make a punishment effective to the dog without creating any long-lasting negative effects. In my training system, the marker word that I use for the punishment marker is either a no in a very firm, strong tone of voice, or bad. Another big takeaway and important aspect about a punishment marker is that it is an unconditional marker. That is, once we give the dog that marker word, we must follow through with that punishment. Being clear and consistent with your dog is one of the most important aspects of training. And if your dog learns that they can get away with certain things at certain times, they will 100% try to do so. Now, when using the punishment marker, we want to say the marker word right as the dog is doing the undesirable behavior. And then we want to immediately follow through with the appropriate punishment for that dog. Depending on the dog, this may look different. For some dogs, an appropriate punishment is something as simple as a squirt bottle to the face. Other dogs may require tools such as e-collars. And for some other dogs, simply going into the dog's space may be a punishment. Punishment and how to apply an appropriate punishment to a dog is a topic that I'll talk about in another video. But for now, the most important thing to understand is that the marker is going to signal the start of that punishment event. So this means if the dog is doing an undesirable behavior, such as digging in the trash can, and you are across the room, you can tell the dog no. And although it may take you 5 or 10 seconds to walk over to the dog and administer the punishment, this will let the dog know that the behavior they were doing that started that marker word up until the punishment is delivered is it connected and associated with. This is the most important aspect of utilizing punishment in training, is that the dog associates the behavior that they were doing with the actual consequence. Failure to make this association can lead to the dog being confused as to why they're being punished, which will result in ineffective punishment that will only confuse the dog and make things more challenging in the future. Just like any of the other marker words in our training system, the marker word is simply a form of communication that allows us to give the dog information about a consequence that's going to happen, whether positive or negative. These marker words are able to help us better communicate with our dog so that we can achieve longer lasting results. I hope this video helps you in your training endeavors. And until next time, keep on training.